world. Now then, crew, and welcome back to the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. Seem to be firing out the videos one every day at the moment. I hope you're enjoying them. Now, I've been tidying up the garage this weekend, and yesterday, couldn't help myself really. I did a couple of videos. I did one on the little LS 400 behind me. That's been in storage for about 3 years. We got it up and running pretty easy, which is good. And I also did an autopsy video stripping down the old rear wheel bearing off the Mazda, was it Alexa? Acela, that was it. Mazda Acela, I think it was, I don't know, a Mazda anyway. Rear wheel bearing to see really what the damage was. And today, I've sort of finished tidying up the garage, so this is about as good as it gets. And I found in the corner, on a workbench, an engine. It's an engine out of a Honda Magna 250cc V-twin, and about 2 months ago I made a start. We did some diagnostics on it, and we found that doing the leak down test we had some leaky valves on the rear cylinder, and I sort of made the call to just pop the head off, and Tool Girl Hana gave me a hand doing that, and there's some footage that I'll include in this video of Hannah giving me a hand. That didn't end up being a full video. It just, we ran out of time, to be honest, and it wasn't complete. So that I'll keep all of the footage, and you know, it may come in handy one day. And today's that day. But there's still the front cylinder head to remove, which I'll do to camera with you guys. And I also decided not just to lap in all the valves on both cylinders, but I've sort of made the call. I've taken a long time doing this engine for this young lad, and I feel pretty bad. Lots of other projects have sort of got in the way. So I want to pull basically the cylinders off now and give it a hone and a couple of new sets of rings. But the problem is on this particular engine, and I've been shying away from it a little bit, the barrels are integral to the upper crankcase. It's not a traditional sort of motorcycle engine where the crankcase is split vertically. These split horizontally. There's a few out there like this. And because the cylinders are part of the upper crankcase, so to speak, it's a much bigger job getting them off, so we can do the hone, but hey, it needs to be done, and I've got a few hours spare, so I thought you might like to join me and see how we get on. Now, I do have the Honda workshop manual for this bike, and I must say, compared to the Yamaha ones, it's terrible. It really is very bad, the way that it's structured. I've worked on plenty of Hondas over the years, and I remember when I first started I used to use the old Haynes manuals, and they were pretty good. I enjoyed those because they had lots of pictures and stuff, and I learned a lot from those. But the Haynes manuals often tend to do things their own way. They've got lots of hints and tricks, you know, to help you save a bit of time. But the you really can't beat, usually, a manufacturer's workshop manual. Anyway, we'll crack on and we'll get this head removed first, and that will be this video, and I'll include Hannah's footage giving me a hand in this one. And then there'll be a second video actually splitting the crankcase, getting that crankcase off, and then there'll be a third one where we do a hone, and then there'll be another one where we do all the valve lapping, and then there's bound to be some more videos once the parts arrive on the reassembly of this engine. Now, I wasn't supplied the complete bike, I was just given the loose engine. The young lad's taken the engine out of the bike himself to save a huge chunk of labour, which was my idea, to be honest. I think he's quite capable of doing that, and refitting the repaired engine back into the bike. So you're not going to see the bike running, you're not going to see the engine running, not unless he does us a bit of footage and sends it through, and then I can do a little video, or maybe I'll go down and see him, or we'll do a video. You know, I'll go and see him after he's installed the engine, and we'll do a finale. A long way down the line. Anyway, back to the job in hand. We need to remove this cylinder head. Right, so now follows the snippets of video, kind of medley really, I suppose, a compilation of short bits of video of Hannah pulling the first head off. I'll see you guys probably in 3 or 4 minutes. Enjoy. Okay, so I think first job is to remove these aluminium panels. Now these just really provide the fins for cooling. They're not actually a mechanical part to the head really, other than providing a cooling effect.
Okay.
So I think it's number 5 Allen key. We've got 1, 2, 3, and on the side there's a couple. So let's go and grab some tools.
Yeah.
Make it work.
Absolutely.
Easy.
Are you right?
I'm good. Okay. Right. So we've got 1, 2, and there's one. I think. Oh, just down there. Look.
Yeah,
so now the thing with that Allen socket is you got to make sure it's all the way in as well. Because if you chew that up, they're a real pain to get out.
How have I got it the right?
I don't know. You tell me. Lefty,
Without
loosey.
saying it, Al. Yeah.
Look. Oh, you undo up. So that's undo. There you go.
Right.
Okay. So make sure you're all the way in first. So give it a good wiggle. And then towards me. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
That's it. So you crack them all off.
Just crack them off.
Crack that one. That's it. You got it. And there's one more down there. Look at
this
that.
one?
Yep. And now you can ping the socket off the ratchet and just use that to unscrew them. That's it. There you go. Just makes it a bit easier rather than working the ratchet all the time.
Yeah. Take them all the way.
Okay, there's our box of bits from last time, so we can just add to that, I think. I think the owner will be really happy if it's just one cylinder head to fix. He's been a bit worried about big bills.
Well, yeah.
He's only a young lad.
Oh.
Can't spend too much of his money. Like I say though, I'm not cheap.
That's good.
Okay, so that's all that is. It's just a piece of aluminium that bolts to the head so that the heat the engine creates is transmitted via these fins to the passing air and helps to get the engine cool. Okay, right, so we've got this side to do. So exactly the same on there.
Okay.
How you doing?
Yep. Amazing.
I don't even need to be here now. I'm so confident in your abilities. I could just leave you a piece of cardboard with some scratches on and you could just crack on, couldn't you?
Oh, I reckon.
Hana, strip engine.
Good. Done.
Sorted.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to wear some gloves? We're starting to get oily.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll get you some.
Okay, I think that's all the 10s.
Yeah, give me your hands away.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, they'll match my outfit.
Oh, look at that.
Unreal.
There's so many more complaints that you're wearing gloves now. Latex gloves, by the way. Jeez.
Watch out, Andy.
Scared already. Right, now these are head bolts, so these are going to be a bit tighter. So I've given you, rather than a ratchet, I've given you, a little mini cracking bar, so you should get slightly more leverage on that. So you go in that way.
Yep.
That's it, keep going. That's cool.
Crack.
Yeah, and then we'll do this one over here, because you've got to do them, you've got to work your way in with the head bolts. We'll do that one. That's cool. We've got 2 more out here, so we better do these first. So we'll do that one next. So that's going to be hard because you're going to be pushing away from yourself. So maybe like that, look, towards you that way. Just mind your fingers, don't trap your fingers. Got a hand? You got it, look at that. It's when your arms start trembling. Mind your fingers. Alright, I'll give you a hand. Ready? You're going to hold the engine a bit? Oh man, that was tight. Jeez. Okay, and the next one will be that one there, look. So that's an easy one. Bloody good. And then that one.
This one?
Yep, you're on it. Muscles next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez, you can see it on camera. Fantastic. Right, and this one.
Oh, and that one.
Last one. Yeah, you can't forget the last one. Mind your fingers. Oh, it's not strong.
Okay.
Right, so you can do the same thing. Swap your socket for onto your little screwdriver thing.
Pull it off.
And you should be able to whiz them all out. They should all be slack enough to...
Pull that one off.
Yep. Give it a tug. Got it. Now we could have used a windy gun for this, but hey, I just like to watch you work.
Okay. Deal with it.
That'll do. I can finish them off if you want
Thanks,
to
Andy. Yeah, that's
save a
perfect.
bit of time. Won't
Yeah.
it? Cool.
Oh, here, we haven't done those ones.
Oh, we've not done those yet?
No.
Oh, jeez.
Well, doesn't feel like it.
Now, well, maybe they've gone tight again. Once you loosen the others, the whole thing moves up, you see.
There
So
was,
those two?
yeah.
Yep. That's one. It's a huge engine for a little tiny 250cc as well.
I think that one.
It's quite bizarre. Okay.
That one.
Yep, and then we need to put the socket back. Ah, they're weird twizzly balls.
And that one.
And that one, yep, cool.
And then, do we not do those?
You'll have to put it back on your power bar, on your little cracking bar, and we'll crack them off. They might have gone tight again.
Crazy. Okay.
There you go. Right, so that one first. So you want to be like that. Look. There you go. You got it? Oh, look at that.
Gosh, that was
Fantastic.
tight.
Yeah. What a pro.
Okay.
So impressed.
There.
Yeah.
That's still a bit tight.
Oh, oil. We found oil. Jeez. Very careful. I put my hands from now on, won't I?
Yeah.
Cool. Right, don't forget the washer. There you go. Right, so we can now start to take a heap of stuff off. So we'll get a little
Okay.
parts tray. Here's what I prepared earlier, and I even cleaned it.
No, I don't.
So we should now be able to start to take some parts off. So,
Oh, yeah.
little
Nice.
guide.
Yeah.
We'll try and do it reasonably logically so we know roughly where things start
Okay.
and where they go back. So these caps can come off.
Right.
I'll get a screwdriver, just ease them off gently. Spider. Nice. One of those little jumpy around spiders. Isn't it?
Oh.
So
I'm just gonna-
we should be able to just get under there. Maybe you can do a little tap.
Oh,
Can you
yeah.
see it move a little bit?
Yeah, wait a bit.
There's no chance of really
Damaging it.
damaging stuff.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Well done, Andy.
Right, so we've got the dowels out. So
Yep.
that one went there, didn't it? So that went there, that went about there. What we don't want to do is drop stuff down the cylinder, down there where the camshaft goes.
Let me say breakfast.
Yeah, better than me.
Yeah?
I had nothing.
Oh,
I'm
that's
not eating today. Yeah.
Like coffee and cigarettes. That's disgusting, Andy.
Just live such a bad life. What can I say?
Very unhealthy.
Right.
There we go.
It's all a bit under tension because we've got the tension of the camshaft.
Okay. And is that connected to this here?
Oh, hey, well spotted. There's an oil feed. Look. So we need to undo that bolt there. Look.
Yeah.
By the looks of it. So number 10. Man, you saw that and I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I had to go around, Hannah.
Shucks, I don't know.
Professional. Right. So
Yeah.
give that a pull. Sorted. What you can do if you want is you can twizzle that up like that,
Oh, yeah.
and you can use it like that.
Okay.
Now, don't take it all the way out, because it might just decide to drop down the cylinder. So we'll get our little magnet.
Oh, yeah.
You can probably put the magnet on and do that.
Oh, yeah.
So professional. It's unreal, isn't it?
Isn't it great? Okay, and the other one as well?
And that came out about there, didn't it? I don't know. I think that we should be able to get these
Oh,
off now.
yeah, I see. Yep.
We just got to check the dowels and stuff. Make sure we've got all the dowels in place. So there was a dowel came out here, out there, and then those two. They're all on here, which is good. Now, this is the camshaft adjuster. It's buried inside the engine. So if we undo those other three,
Okay.
we should be able to take that out of the way. Everything should come loose at least, and then we can get the camshafts out of the way.
So so I'm going to have to go like
Yeah, so what
this,
you
isn't it?
again? So you've got a package there.
Yeah.
Close, really close. Okay?
I think it's
I think you
done.
did it, yeah. You got it?
Yeah.
Cool. And then one more down there, look.
This way? Like
Yep.
this? Okay, and then
Yeah. So good. If you're happy with the screwdriver, then you can use that.
Yeah.
There's a bit more
that's a
grip
bit,
on that, isn't there?
yeah.
You just gotta get your socket off. There we go.
Do we need the...
No, it's a lot longer bolt than I
Right,
thought,
yeah.
so I think we should be alright actually.
into here?
Yep. Now these are probably shorter. Maybe. You'll feel it anyway, there we go.
Mhm.
Alright? Put that
Yeah.
into here. Oh,
Bit
a
more.
bit more, yeah.
There we go.
There we are. Sorted. Hang on. So we'll just see how we get on with this. There we are, look. Right. So that is the intake camshaft.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so that was the intake cam, right?
Yeah.
So we'll just put on there in intake. 'Cause,
Perfect.
you know, listen, if I can get it, if it can be wrong, I will get it wrong. And then we'll take that one out. And that's the exhaust. So we'll stick exhaust on there, just in case the other one rubs off. Super. Okay. Now, I wonder if that's there we are, look. Get the whole adjuster out of there now. So how is that chain trapped in there? Because we need the chain out.
Okay.
Little R clips, look.
Yep.
Alright, so I'll bring the camera around so everybody can see the R clips.
Okay.
So these are the two little clips that we've got to remove to get this off to free the chain.
Mhm.
So without hopefully putting them down the
Need the
down
magnet.
there, we'll have a go. Can't guarantee it. See if I can just push them through from this side.
Yep, there you go.
These are not the best pliers, to be honest. They're a bit worn. There we are. There's one.
Yep.
Two. Right.
Nice.
Now we should be able to push those pins through, he says with complete confidence. There we go, look. One.
Nice.
And engines get quite oily, don't they?
Yeah, very.
Two.
Nice.
Okay, so now that should come off there, that should come off there.
That's free.
Wonderful.
Wow,
And
okay.
that's called the slipper.
Okay.
And that's where the chain runs in there. Look.
Yep.
Pop that in there as well. Just a cam chain adjuster. Okay, now we do still actually have the exhaust manifold on, which is a bad thing. I should really remove that first. In which case we're going to need to do that now. So it's a 10mm socket,
Which I've got over here.
we've already got somewhere. Yeah. So you put that onto your little cracking bar. I'll deal with that bit later on. There we go. Alright, so header pipes massaged out of the way. Drop that down there. And in theory, give it a little tap with the magic hammer, we should get a cylinder head.
Nice. Good there. Yep. Chain.
Yep, there we go.
Cool.
Wow.
Wow, yep.
Let's take a
Well
look.
done.
Easy. Right, now it's my turn. I'm going to get the front cylinder head taken off, and you guys can follow me through that. Here we go. Okay, well, first job, get these sort of additional sort of bolt-on cooling fins out of the way. And you might have noticed when I was working on the engine with Hannah a while ago, we had a bit of a problem. You know, we were sort of fighting the exhaust on the bike because it was so rusted up we couldn't split it, and there was a seized bolt on one of the exhaust flanges on this front cylinder. We couldn't get that out either, so it causes a bit of a problem. I have now managed to get the exhaust off, and yes, it's going to need a new stud for that front clamp, basically the head clamp. It's dead, but it took me about half an hour, and it wouldn't have made a very good video, I don't think. There was a lot of swearing and hammering going on, and we got there in the end though. Come back, all is forgiven. Okay. There we go, lots of crap. Okay. Right, other side. There we go. Other than that though, there's been no seized bolts, which is pretty amazing because it's quite an old bike, is this? And things tend to corrode quite a bit in Auckland. Not good. A lot of salty air going on. It's a glorious day outside. I might actually open the garage doors shortly because it's getting to be pretty warm in here. Okay, let's get this this coolant pipe off as well. What have we got? Star screwdriver. See if this one's going to fit. Should do. There we go. How seized is it going to be? That's the question. These pipes tend to rust on pretty well. Spiders all over the place. That's what happens when you leave things in a garage around here, you get covered in spiders. There we go. Excellent. Stick that in there. Okay, now we can get to the nitty gritty. We can start to remove the camshafts and stuff. Okay, right, we've got some bolts. So let's get this guide out of the way first. That's going to be two 12s and two 10mm bolts to remove. Right, I'll do the 12s first, I think. Jeez, they were tight. Get rid of that extension bar, that might help. God, it's always good when you've got an assistant to hold things for you. There we go. We got it. Don't panic, people. It does look like there are a couple of head bolts. Fantastic. That's definitely going to help matters. Okay. Yeah, definitely head bolts. Okay. Oh, washers. Don't lose the washers. Right, now I've got some boxes for all this stuff. See where they're going to go. Right, make it all the same. There we go. Right, well, just reading the manual, the next bits to come out are these two caps here. So we've got some more bolts to undo. Jeez, here we go. One. Two. Ah, that's right, these are the really weird spirally bolts, look. Very strange. There we go. Let's see if we can get these off. The there'll be dowels under there. Look, we've got a little locating pin and a dowel. Jeez, it's going to need a bit of a tap, bit of magic, I reckon. That one is tight. Jeez. Very tight. There we go. We got it. We've got movement. Super. 2 dowels on that one. Okay. Now the cam chain is still tight, but there is a little trick that you can do to push down a spring, so it tells me. So we'll whip that off now. Now if you look right down there on the old cam chain tensioner assembly, there's a spring, and if I just tension up the chain, you can see that spring's moving up and down. There's like an arm that comes in from this side, and there's the spring. So it says in the manual you can push that down and then unhook the chain off the sprockets, but I'm just not getting enough movement, unfortunately. So I'm going to bin that idea and do what I did last time and just remove these other caps and then wiggle the camshafts out, because at the end of the day all we're doing is stripping it down. Right, so next job I think is to get this lot out of the way. Now we've got down there's a transfer tube for oil here, and there's a little tube that runs down the bottom to here. So I think we should undo those 4 down there first, just so we don't put any pressure on that tube when we undo these other ones. And those are the tensioner mounting bolts. In fact, we need to undo one, don't we, because it's just got a little bracket on it. So we'll give that a go. There we go. Pretty long bolt. Right, magnet. Okay, is that going to pull it out? Oh, look at that. It is. Good stuff. Right, it's tensioner in that box. Okay. Now we've got 4 more up here to undo. We'll just crack all those off. I will be using my drill for this. I have a Makita drill, which is great for pulling things apart, but the last of 4 batteries died this morning, so I'm going to have to dig deep, get some more, I think. Either that or treat yourself to a new drill. And that's what they want you to do, isn't it? Just buy a new one, but there's nothing wrong with the old one apart from the battery. Well, 4 batteries. Okay. Right, now we've got these 2 larger bolts. These again will be head bolts. These are 12, so we'll crack those off. That's 1. 2. Oh, another spirally bolt. Okay. Great stuff. Okay, so now we should be able to, I think, ease these out, these 2 caps. I mean, the cam chain is not over tight, so it shouldn't put too much pressure on it. Right, flat screwdriver. Just got to ease these up, and they've got to come up together. That's the thing, because there's that pipe between the 2. Be very careful you don't damage the gasket surface doing this, but I'm not putting a lot of pressure on it. Just got to keep working at it. give it a wiggle. There we go. Excellent. Right, they can go in the box. And if you want to separate that, you can do. You just give it a wiggle. And there's an O-ring in there, and you should be replacing those O-rings during assembly. Okay, now, next job is to get the camshafts out. Now, I don't really want to undo the sprockets off the camshafts. You shouldn't have to do that, really. Right, let's see if we can push that down enough now. Probably not. I'm sure Hannah and I didn't take the camshafts. No, we didn't. They're still on the camshafts. So hopefully. Tell you what, let's just slacken that camshaft, the cam chain adjuster completely off. That might give us the movement that we want. Now be careful, because some of these bolts are pretty short. You don't want them falling in the crankcase. That might cause a bit of a problem later on trying to fish them out. Remember, we're trying to disassemble this engine as little as possible to do the work we need to do. I was hoping to avoid a full engine rebuild if I could. There we go. Right, 3 more of those. Okay. Now, will that come out? Don't know. 2 months is a long time when you're stripping engines down. Nope, guess not. Okay. It doesn't give us a lot of room. I mean, maybe that's probably why it says take the sprocket off. Maybe we'll have to take a sprocket off. Okay. Now we can still rotate the crank. It is. Right, so we can turn the engine over because the cam chain's still connected to the valve, so we're not going to bend any valves. And we'll just bring this round and we'll take that one off. So, 10 mil. Okay, so I'm holding the crankshaft just as I crack these off. That's one. Okay, we'll rotate it again so we can get the other one undone as well. There we go, that should be enough. Right, holding the crankshaft. Excellent. You see, sometimes the workshop manual's right, isn't it? Terrible. Right, let's bring that back a bit. And then we can get this one out. Super job. Okay, now that should drop off there. He says with complete confidence. There we are. And now that releases all the tension on that chain. And we should be able to just slide out the exhaust camshaft. Put it in the box with the sprocket. And now we can get out the intake cam. Wonderful. Okay, I'm hoping now this tensioner should come out. There we go. Now, remember rightly, when I did this with Hannah, you've got on the side here a couple of R-clips. You've got to pop the R-clips out, push the pins through in order to get the adjuster off the cam chain. And I need it out of the way, so a pair of long nose pliers, I think, should do the trick. Now again, don't drop this, probably like I'm about to do. Try not to drop it down into the crankcase. There we go. Right, so that's one. Pop that in there. Second one. I think Hannah did this actually on the last one. She's got smaller fingers than me. There we go. Right. Ta-da! Number 2 in there. Now we should be able to pop these out. 1, 2. And then that comes off, the guide comes off the adjuster, and now you've got the 2 bits and it's separate from the chain. Wonderful. Okay. Stick those in there. Right. Don't worry about the chain dropping down. We're going to be stripping the engine anyway. It's irrelevant, really. Now, I wonder if that other guide will come out. Sometimes they do. Now, that's obviously bolted in down the bottom, or trapped at least. Okay, we're not far off. So what's next? Well, by the looks of it, we've only got 2 more head bolts left, and that's the ones on this far side. So I'll spin it around a bit for you. Hopefully you can see those. Yes, right, so we'll crack those 2 off. Now we've got a bit of dirt on this engine, so we'll just clean that off first. Jeez. Earthquake. Oh, there we go. Right. Better? Okay. 12. There he goes. Okay. Way, sorry camera. That's 1. 2. Great job. So all in all, not too bad getting these heads off, really, is it? Okay, that's 1. 2, and both those 2 bolts are the same length. Right, we'll find a home for those. Okay, just checking there's no more bolts anywhere. No, I think we're there. So, time for a magic hammer again. Right, so we'll use the hide end and we'll just give it a bit of a tap, see if that's going to work. I think we're there. Just sat on the dowels basically. Yep, there we go. Wonderful. Right, another head off. Brilliant. So we've got all the bits in this tub here for the rear cylinder. That's the one that I did with Hana. And if we just pan across, we've got all the stuff off that front cylinder that we've just taken off now. And it's really important that you keep everything categorized and in the right place. You'll thank yourself later on when you come to put it back together again. Believe me. So there you go, crew. Pretty easy job, actually. First time I've done a V-twin like this of a Honda Magna, but you know, follow the instructions, you can't go wrong, can you? And now that's the exploded diagram of all the parts, and this, I won't give you the whole thing, but that's sort of the disassembly process, which we got so far down and then gave up and did it my way, because I just couldn't get that cam chain tension to back off enough to get the cam chain out of the way. And then it said to remove one of the sprockets on one of the camshafts, and we did that, and it all worked, didn't it? Didn't it? Bit of English, oh well. Okay, well, if you enjoyed the video, why not click on the subscribe button? You'll see a little gear icon turn up, click on the gear icon, then you can tick the box and turn on notifications. It's the same thing if you ring the bell if you're on a smart device, and then our friends down at YouTube will send you an email as and when I upload any new videos. And at the moment, there's one every day. I don't think that's sustainable, but I'll try. We'll see how we get on. I've got a few videos to put to camera today, but I'm away again all next week, so it's not often any videos get made during the week. They all get done at a weekend. It's the only time I have. Very busy chap. You'll also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Google+, and Twitter. Feel free to communicate through any of those portals. But first point of contact, if you wouldn't mind, through the comments on YouTube, because, you know, let's face it, that's where we all are. What else? Oh, there's a Patreon account now. There's a Patreon page. Drop onto there. There's some more background information about the channel. And there's a few bits and pieces about what's coming up in the future. Now, I will keep adding to that. I've been a bit slack the last couple of weeks, But I will work on that maybe one night this coming week. I'll upload some more stuff for you. And thanks again to Scott. Scott became a patron yesterday and he donated some money too. So cheers, Scott. Really appreciate that. Okay, crew, that's it. I'm going to crack on with the next step of stripping this engine down, and that's going to be, well, crankcases. Okay, crew, see you next time. Cheers. Over and out. Hey, Tool Girl Sam. How are you?
Back.
You're back! Fantastic.
So long.
I know, and I've got a new shirt, so I thought it's only right that I give you a new shirt too, so there you go.
So excited for my new shirt, and I don't have to wear different shirts every day. And as a classic Tool Girl Sam move, I am going to wear it like this. Wow, would you look at that? I'd say that is a great present for your girlfriend if she's into tools. If she's not, she's probably into tools because you're a tool. See what I did there? Tool Girl shirt, perfect.